now, WTOE Radio Live, brought to you by ThroughOurEyes.org.
That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. I feel it.
Welcome to Looking Good Without Looking, an interactive live show about fashion and personal style with your host, Linda Zani Thomas. Linda is the author of the Looking Good Without Looking Guides to Personal Style for Men and Women, published in the Braille Monitor. Get the latest fashion news, makeup trends, and shopping scoops, plus expert advice on bringing out the best in you.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday to Sunday. Get with you know what we say, party every day, party every day, and I'm feeling.
Here's Linda.
Tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem with Linda. She got disconnected on us. So I'm going to have to ask Johanna, you're going to have to take it over for a couple of minutes.
Okay, hello everyone. I want to welcome you to the Looking Good Without Looking show. And we'll be waiting for our host, Linda Zani Thomas. And I just want to welcome everyone. And finally, we have a great day. The weather was just with us all day long. And we have a lot to talk about tonight, especially what's the hottest trends in spring. And Evelyn Valdez is going to be giving us an update on her job interview. And a couple of other items that Linda and I have looked into. We went shopping at Marshall's and at TJ Maxx, and we have some pointers for you over there. And with this technical difficulties, usually I don't know what to say now, but we're trying to get Linda back, and I'm sure we will. As you could tell, our show is live, and we have these problems. But I wanted to talk about that the Charity Day went very well at Lord & Taylor. It was very well received by all, and it was a lot of fun that day. There was a lot of different events going on at Lord & Taylor, and people were able to get 15% off makeup, which was fabulous, and 25% off items that normally are not 25% off. And it really was a lot of fun. And if you were able to make it, I'm sure you all took part of the fun. So it's, I just am wondering, I don't know if I'm lost now. It's a possibility that I am lost.
No, you're on.
No, I'm on?
Yes, you're on.
Okay. Is it because Linda and I were Skyping before, Lenny?
No,
or?
no. Her Skype won't connect, so we're having problems connecting with her.
Okay. So again, there's going to be another Charity Day in July that we'll all let you know about, because this time they are going to let you use the 25% coupon on Uggs. And that normally is never done anywhere. So we're going to keep you informed in that, to let you know of the next Charity Day of the great sales that they're going to have for Uggs. Also, I'm trying to think what else, Charity Day. Again, it was just a great day. Different authors were there. The cake boss of Ridgewood, New Jersey was raffling off a cake. There were Clarisonic, the facial machine Clarisonic. They were giving facials. All the makeup counters were doing makeovers. It was just really a great day. A lot of fun, a lot of music. There was a DJ there. So it just was really a wonderful time for all, men, women, teens, young children. It just was great. And another thing Linda and I were thinking about is doing some kind of a workshop, probably, of a Looking Good Without Looking, possibly either a fashion show or another workshop with everyone. We're going to be looking into that in the future. And I'm just trying to think, what else that we were, planning. Again, there are a lot of great stores that if you haven't checked them out yet at Garden State Plaza, like Unique Glow. It's a fabulous store. The price points are right. And if you haven't checked it out yet, it's a definite must at the Garden State Plaza. It's like the old-time Gap. Also, there are, JCPenney, of course, always has special coupons. Lord & Taylor is always having either friends and family or their special coupons. Also, when we were shopping at TJ and at Marshall's, there was a lot of great merchandise in, all the new maxi dresses that are in. There were plus sizes and they were petite sizes and everything in between, and a lot of merchandise in every size. Different pocketbooks. There was a great selection. So it was something, for all. I recommend that you go to TJ Maxx or Marshall's, often, because you never know, every day something new comes in. Also, I'm trying to think
we can
what
go
else?
to commercial, and we're still trying to get her no luck.
Okay,
so far.
we're going to go to commercial now, where we're going to try to get our fashionista, Linda Zani Thomas, back on. Hopefully, maybe we can get her by phone. If not,
We'll try.
Okay. See you in a little bit.
We'll be right back with more of Looking Good Without Looking right after these messages.
Let's do it. Here we come, here we go. We gotta rock. Easy come, easy go. Now we on top. Feel the shot, body rock. Rockin', don't stop. Round and round, up and down, around the clock.
Remember the time you almost volunteered to work in a soup kitchen? Or when you almost visited the Veterans Hospital? Or when you almost brought dinner to your neighbor with AIDS? Remember all the times you almost helped, almost gave? Well, it's only human, this almost giving. But the truth is, it's the same as not giving at all. Don't almost give, give. Visit our website at don'talmostgive.org. A message from the Ad Council.
Imagine climbing the tallest mountain in the world without ever seeing the path in front of you. Imagine winning a television game show without ever seeing television. Blind people reach their dreams every day. Hello, I'm Mark Maurer, president of the National Federation of the Blind. With the proper training and opportunity, blind people become lawyers, professors, and chefs. We develop new technologies and support our communities. We own businesses and homes. We are mothers, fathers, and grandparents. We raise our children and worry about the bills. For more information on blindness, visit our website at www.nfb.org or contact me, Mark Maurer, National Federation of the Blind, 1800 Johnson Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21230, or call 410-659-9314. We are the voice of the nation's blind.
Attorney.
CEO.
8th grader. Publisher.
Retired.
No matter what the occupation or age, people who suffer from alcohol and drug addiction are all in the same boat. But with treatment, you can make it to solid ground. At any point, no matter how old or young you are, you can choose to get treatment. And through treatment comes recovery.
You can do it!
Come on! We'll help you.
I made it. I really made it.
For drug and alcohol information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Back to looking good without looking. Here's Linda.
Go, Johanna.
Okay, welcome everyone. I guess we have not been able to connect with Linda. Could we reach her by phone, Lenny?
That's last resort. We're still trying. She's not answering
Okay.
right now.
All right. Linda, so I just want to welcome everybody back. Again, we're having technical difficulties. This is the first time we're having major technical difficulties. But I did want to also mention there was an article in the paper, I think it was the Bergen Record, that the New Jersey Foundation for the Blind are going to give lessons on the iPhone and the iPad. They're going to be starting in May in Denville and hopefully in Ridgewood in September. So they'll be training for the iPhone and the iPad. And June 19th in Denville, New Jersey, they're going to have like a workshop for people who have just gotten the iPhone or the iPad to see if you'd be interested in learning it, if it's something for you. And that's June 19th in Denville, New Jersey. And that's at the New Jersey Foundation for the Blind. I think the number is 973-627-0005. And you could ask for Linda, the program coordinator. Again, it is the New Jersey Foundation for the Blind. So that's a very good thing. Also, I know that you can go to the Apple Store, especially in Woodcliff Lake, New Jersey, and they will help you with iPhones and iPads for the visually impaired. I myself do not have one yet, and I am considering to get one. I would like to go to the June 19th workshop, and I'm considering myself to get one. It's a very useful tool for the blind now. There are a lot of apps that the blind can use, and they are using touchscreen, which I find it amazing. But it is just a terrific, terrific tool. It has a lot of apps to read things up. Do we have Linda?
Hi, how are you? We're having a lot of technological goblins tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you.
You look beautiful. What were you telling our audience already so I can catch up to you?
All right, well, I talked about Charity Day.
Okay, good.
And I talked about a little bit shopping at Marshall's because you usually start it off, but and I talked about the article in the paper of the New Jersey Foundation for the Blind.
Yeah, about those apps. That's going to be great. We have to get in on that, definitely. Do you want to talk about Marshall's a little bit? I got some scoops for you.
Yes, go ahead. Let's
All right, Johanna and I have been starting to go to it's Marshall's over there, right, Johanna?
Yes, in Boulder Run in Wyckoff.
Okay, Marshall's and TJ Maxx are owned by the same company. So when I'm talking about one, I'm actually talking about TJ Maxx here. But I got some information because Johanna and I went through the store. The great thing about it is that they have everything for everybody in every size, right, Johanna?
Yes, and a lot of merchandise in each size, I told them.
Yes, it was very nice. But I have some scoops that I looked up about TJ Maxx. First of all, they're known for as an off-price buyer. So everything they buy is anywhere from 20% to 60% off department store prices. They try to shoot for 60%, Johanna.
Wow.
And do you know that they have a great training program, which is very interesting. They have a training program for high school kids looking to get into retail. And they also have something they call Negotiating University. I don't know what that's all about, but apparently what they do is they buy every week. So the merchandise that's coming in the store, you never know how much merchandise is going to come in one section. So Johanna, now this must drive you crazy as a visually impaired person. They said they have a concept, it's called Beyond Walls. So what they do is, it's like a big open space, the store. and say they they get a great deal on what's trending in bathing suits, they'll like change the configuration of the store. Have you noticed that?
I haven't noticed that. So you mean the bathing suits would not be in the same area all the time?
Yeah, and what they will do is they said that they buy every week. What they do is they pay attention to what's trending as opposed to a department store which tries to predict what's going to be popular. They get a handle on what's going to be popular every week. Then they go to designers and trusted labels and they say, do you have any extra merchandise? Because, your items are trending. And what they'll do is they work directly with TJ Maxx. And I guess TJ Maxx is a great payer. They pay within 30 days and they don't do any returns or anything. So that's how they stock the store all the time. Isn't that interesting?
Very.
Yeah, so they change the configuration. So if you're visually impaired and you honestly probably can't get used too much to certain things at the store, because say they get a big shipment of, beach towels. They're going to have like a big department and they'll move everything around the store a little bit. So it's worth going there all the time. The other thing that I heard is this, that they buy based on 4 things. Now, Johanna, you were in the retail business as a buyer, so let me see if you agree with these 4 things that they buy. And we have a caller, so let's just finish this up. They buy based on fashion and has to be current and trending. They only buy first quality stuff. They buy for trusted brands, and they buy based on the 60% less. What do you think of that?
Excellent. Excellent.
I mean, it's really a great place to shop. I personally, it says on the internet, all these savvy shoppers say you should definitely, go through every rack and everything. I don't think so. I think you should just go every week and see what's new. Because they buy every week. I don't know what day they buy, but we could find that out. I have a feeling it's Tuesday when new stuff comes in. Do you have a feeling on that?
Yes, and I also had mentioned, too, that you should go, at least once a week, like you said. I had said the same thing, because you never know what's going to come in.
You never know. Everything is great. Let's take our caller. We got a caller on the line, Johanna.
Oh, great.
Hey, Linda.
Hi, who's this?
Hello, this is Mary Ellen from Daytona,
Mary Ellen, how
Florida.
are you? Hey, this is one of our new fans from Florida, Mary Ellen. And Mary Ellen, we're going to be talking to you a little bit. You want to start talking? Maybe we could start right now, because we're going to feature something that I brought to our attention.
Yes, well, whenever I don't want to organize your show for you, so I hope I didn't jump in too early.
That's okay. We're going to get to you in just a little bit, because I have the mannequin to discuss behind me and everything. Can we just have you hold on for a second, Mary Ellen, and we'll get back to you?
I'd be delighted to hold on as long as you need.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, we have another caller. Let's get our other caller on the line real quick. Hello? Oh, they can't switch. All right. Okay, then I have something else to fill in before we get to the other caller and then to... Oh, okay. Sorry, Lenny. Okay. Hello, caller.
Hello. I'm calling from Cape Cod.
Hello, Mom. How are you?
I'm fine.
Hi,
How
Mom.
are you?
Johanna, say hi.
Hi.
All right.
Hi,
We
Johanna.
wanted you to call in tonight, Mom, for 2 things. First of all, you were in a fashion show today.
Yes, I was.
Now, remember when we did the fashion show at the New Jersey Federation, the NJB in New Jersey?
Right, I remember that. That was wonderful.
And Geraldine was the first one down. Now, what did that feel like? Because you were the first one down the runway today. Tell Johanna and I what happened.
I was horrified. I was frightened. I thought that they would go alphabetical, so I figured, being Zani, I would figured I'd go last, but I had to go first. But everything went well, and there was about 10 ladies and myself, and I think everyone appreciated it. We had some lovely clothes to wear, so it was all in all, it was wonderful.
And now you wanted to tell us a little bit. 2 months ago, Johanna, remember we had Jimmy Arsenault on with his Jocks Core Support shorts?
Yes.
Mom, why don't you fill Johanna in on the story of the Jocks shorts that I bought for you?
Okay, well, you had given me these as a gift because I told you when I do my gardening, and I belong to a garden club here on the Cape, that my back hurts. So you said, well, Mom, I'm going to get you something. Try these. So as it happened, I went to one of our meetings, and the president of our club was having a terrible situation with sciatica, and she was on crutches. So I said to her, Ann, I have this wonderful product. I'd like you to try it. So I gave it to her with the 2 packs, the cold pack and the hot pack. So I saw her today at this fashion show that was being put on by our club. And I said, Ann, how is the garment working out? She said, wonderful. My husband is wearing it because he's having back trouble, and he loves it. So
wow.
that's
So he's actually
story.
wearing the white ladies version, though.
Well, I don't think he minds. His back hurts so much he'll wear anything.
Well, we're going to be sure that Jimmy Arsenault knows this situation. Johanna, do you have anything you want to discuss, confess, or mention to my mother while she's on the line?
Well, I think that's, that's great. It's probably now they're really unisex. It doesn't have to be, white or blue or whatever color, But I wanted to know what your mother wore in the fashion show.
Yeah, tell us.
Well, I had 2 outfits that I wore, and they were sporty outfits. One was a beautiful waffle navy blue cotton jacket, short jacket with beautiful white capri pants, and I had on a pair of white wedgie shoes. And I had a beautiful red and white scarf around my neck. They truly was lovely. That was one of the outfits. And the other outfit I wore was an orange and brown and beige jacket with dark brown pants, and it really both outfits were very beautiful.
Nice. Sounds good, right, Johanna?
Yeah. Excellent.
Very good.
Was it any special designer or from any special store?
Well, yes, it was from a store called Hunter's in Howard, here on the Cape. And she has a lovely shop. I went there, and she outfitted me, and she said, choose what you like. If you don't like what I'm suggesting for you, choose something else, which was very nice of her. And consequently, it made us feel very comfortable because we actually more or less chose our own clothes. So I went very conservative, as I usually do, but it was very nice.
Very good, Ma. You're a star.
Did you
Yes.
purchase
Well,
those clothes?
I don't know about that, but listen, have a wonderful evening.
Oh.
I'm enjoying listening to you, and I'll listen to your next guest.
Okay, great. All right. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for calling in.
Okay. You're welcome. Good night.
Good night. All right, we'll have to take our little break soon, Lenny, I'm sure. So let's get to men's spring fashion tips. And Lenny, you can tell us what you think. And after we take a little break for you to back up the files, we will be doing our spotlight of the night, which we are going to be spotlighting a body type tonight, the middle curvy body type. And we're going to be doing this for Mary Ellen, who's one of our new fans in Florida. So right after the break, we'll be talking about that. Johanna, you want to hear what's trending in terms of men's fashion?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay. You ready? Now, Joey, you want to say something about Joey's graduation coming up?
Yeah. Yes. My son, Joey, will be graduating Loyola University on May 18th. And we're all excited. I'm very proud of him. And I can't believe that 4 years went by so quickly. But I want to congratulate him and all his friends. They did a terrific job. And everyone is looking for jobs, and everyone is doing well doing that. And congratulations, Joey. I love you.
Oh, great. And hey, any of you kids graduating and you want information, go to our last month's show, when we had Evelyn Valdez on the show. We talked about dressing for success in life and love. Last year, we did 2 shows on that topic. So we have all the scoops on interviewing, etc. And guys, like Joey, here's some things that are trending for you. First of all, Johanna, pop of color is a big trend. Guys are accessorizing with color in a big way, just one piece. It could be their sneakers, it could be their shirt, it could be their watch, but a pop of color is definitely what they're doing, a bright color. What do you think about that trend?
It's great. I love it.
I love it too. I think that's really good. Of course, I tried to get Gary Lalane to do a pop of color.
Well, you know what? That blue shirt, that was as much as you can get him to do, but supposedly he got a lot of compliments on that.
Yeah, tell the audience what happened. He's on a plane somewhere, so he won't hear it. So go ahead, Johanna. Tell what happened when he wore. I got him this robin's egg blue shirt, which is kind of a lightish color.
Right, and he wore it to work. And everybody came up to him and was complimenting him how they loved the shirt, that it was the greatest color for him. And, if you know Gary, Gary, had said to Linda, my God, it's like he was being harassed because they all kept, coming over to him, telling him how great he looked, but he did.
So bottom line is pop of color, use it carefully.
That's right.
Okay, you know what's coming back? Baseball bomber jackets. Remember that look?
Yes.
Can members-only jackets be far behind? I'm sure Lenny still has his. Second of all, what else is coming back? Shoes with no socks.
Oh, my father hated that.
Oh, that was a real thing, for people in our generation, right? If a boy came over to your house and they had no socks on and they took you out on a date.
I remember my sister had a boyfriend come over and he had no socks on with his shoes. My father did not like that at all. Not at all.
Whatever happened to the guy? What, did he become like president or?
I know, I got to find out. I remember his name too.
Oh, don't say it on the air.
No,
we'll have to.
But I'm going to find out if we know what he became.
Yeah, could you imagine that is really, what everyone reacted to? It's hysterical. All right, Lenny, if you're listening, the hottest trend in shoes is suede, like a light color suede for guys, and shoes called double monk, which is MONK, and they're like dress shoes with 2 straps on them. Are you familiar with those, Lenny? All right, well, that's the hottest thing in shoes. Do we have another minute before we have to take the break? Excellent. Okay, I just wanted to say that I got a great catalog in the mail called Comfortology. I'm holding it up. All the shoes in there are really comfortable. I must say I ordered a pair of shoes. They are from Rockport. They were a little over $100. These are kind of like the Cole Haans that have the Nike built into them. These are by Rockport, and they have like Adidas sneakers built into them. Look at if those of you have vision, you can see how high these shoes are. They are regular platform pumps. They are like sneakers. I can't believe it. That's the Comfortology catalog. Those are by Rockport. A little bit more on shoes when we get back, and then our spotlight on middle curvy women. And Johanna, we will be back in a couple of minutes. See you in a few minutes.
Linda will be right back after we take a 4-minute break to save our files for podcast. Stay right where you are.
Here we come.
Stay right where you are.
Here we come. Here we go. We gotta rock, 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 rock. Easy come, easy go. Now we on top. Feel the shot. Body rock. Rockin', don't stop. Round and round. Up and down. Around the clock.
Amber Alert, abducted child, African-American girl, 6 years old. Suspect, Caucasian male, 30 to 35, 6 feet, 180 pounds, wearing blue shirt, black jeans.
Now when an Amber Alert is issued,
White van, out-of-state license, X-ray 687 Charlie.
you can get the same information the authorities get right on your cell phone. Sign up for free at wirelessamberalerts.org. When an Amber Alert is issued in the areas you've chosen, you'll receive a free text message. If you spot the vehicle, the suspect, or the child described in the alert, call 911. Sign up today at wirelessamberalerts.org. Think of it. Something as simple as a free text message could free an abducted child.
All units, Amber Alert canceled. Child recovered safely. Suspect is in custody. Repeat, Amber Alert canceled.
WirelessAmberAlerts.org. A child is calling for help. This message brought to you by the Wireless Foundation, the U.S. Department of Justice, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and the Ad Council.
Mommy, you sure take the time and do a lot just to keep me safe. Knee pads, baby gates, corner cushions, socket covers, and that fancy car seat for big girls like me. Where'd you find that thing?
The odds of a child being in a fatal automobile accident? 1 in 23,000. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 150. You know the odds of autism. Now learn some of the signs. No big smiles or other joyful expressions by 6 months. No back and forth sharing of sounds or facial expressions by 9 months. And no babbling by 12 months. To learn more of the signs and more about autism, visit autismspeaks.org.
So, Mom, while you're remembering to protect me from the unthinkable, don't dismiss the possible.
Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Oh, hi, Jessica.
Hi, Mrs. Johnson. Is Megan there?
Sure. Follow me. The kids are in the kitchen making sandwiches.
Hey, Julie. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Megan. Hey, Megan.
Yeah?
You're a total freak. God, you're ugly. And dumb. Oh, and your makeup makes you look like a tramp. Tommy Morris told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. The whole school knows. He said your breath smelled like garbage, and he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows. And that dress is totally hideous. You look like a big fat clown. Disgusting. Oh, and by the way, nice zit.
If you wouldn't say it in person, why say it online? Delete cyberbullying. Don't write it, don't forward it. For more information, visit ncpc.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, Crime Prevention Coalition of America, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Judy. And my name is Johnny. We're 10 years old and we're blind. Our dreams are to become scientists.
My name is Catherine. I'm 24 years old and I'm blind. I'm currently in law school, and one day I dream of becoming an attorney.
My name is Bill. I'm 74 years old and I've just become blind. My dream is to remain independent in my own home and not have to go to a nursing home just because I'm blind.
The National Federation of the Blind of New York has been helping blind people achieve their dreams since 1956. Help keep their dream machine running and visit blindnewyorkers.org to make a donation. You can also call them at 718-567-7821. Blind people are your neighbors and colleagues, so learn more about blindness and make your contribution today. Go to blindnewyorkers.org or call 718-567-7821. The National Federation of the Blind of New York. Today's dreams can become tomorrow's realities.
Back to looking good without looking. Here's Linda.
Hi, everybody. We're back. Yes, we're both really back. I want to say thank you to my lovely co-host, Johanna Bacan, for picking up the slack when my call got dropped before. And this is live. You can call in anytime at 888-572-0141. We do have someone on the line who has asked a question of us, but we're going to set it up for her. Okay, Johanna?
Yes, that's
All
a
right.
great idea.
Mary Ellen from Florida contacted us probably about 6 weeks ago now. And she asked a lot of questions. She is someone who has been using Jill Kirsch products. And for those of you who just need a refresher on that, Jill Kirsch is a color analyst and a color expert. She determined Mary Ellen's colors, and Mary Ellen is visually impaired. She has naturally silver hair, but with some ash blonde in it. So she is under the ash blonde and gray palette. So I am going to describe for Johanna a little bit about those colors, and I'm going to hold up Jill Kirsch's swatch booklet, which is used by a lot of people, visually impaired and not, to find the colors that look good on them. So I'm holding up the swatch booklet now with the colors that go with ash blonde, gray hair for people with that coloring. The colors are icy but muted, right, Johanna?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, they're cool colors. Like you and I wear sort of vibrant colors because we're both deep brunettes. it's actually like a little bit of a muted color like we would wear. So for example, instead of cobalt blue, the color is sort of a muted icy grade blue. Now, one of the biggest colors this year, Johanna, that you and I saw was the mint color, like it's called grade jade. Remember that from the Pantone show?
Yes, very nice color.
That's a huge color this season, and that's a color, for example, that would look good on someone like Mary Ellen. So Mary Ellen knows a lot about the colors. I believe she is using Jill Kirsch's makeup, if I'm not mistaken. So she has her colors down. I asked Mary Ellen about her lifestyle, and she said that she has a casual lifestyle, does a lot of walking, does a lot of trips, I believe she said, on the bus. She describes herself as casual but elegant. What do you think of that, Johanna?
Great combination.
Great combination, casual and elegant. I could see her now with her beautiful makeup and her beautiful colors. And she asked a question, and I said, you know what? Johanna and I both talked about it and said, let's do a show where we focus on one particular figure type. And we'll do it for guys and ladies. We're going to focus on the middle curvy figure type. That is a figure type where carries most of the emphasis of their body from the chest to the hips. So that's where there's a lot of focus when you look at somebody. That body type, the best thing to emphasize on that body type is usually people with that body type has fantastic legs, Johanna. Very good legs, small hips. So the narrowest part of their torso is usually right under the bust line, so an empire waistline is best. But they also have the narrowest part of their body is usually the hips. So they usually have very small hips and really good legs, which is really something to emphasize. So that's what we're starting with here. And I just wanted to kind of lean over. Lenny, you'll have to tell me, did I do it the right way so you could see the mannequin in the back of me? Okay. The mannequin in the back of me, for those of you watching who are visually impaired, which some of our viewers are, the mannequin in back of me, I dressed for the middle curvy figure type. And I will describe that, Johanna. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
Okay, it's a maxi dress. I know Johanna's been looking for one. Johanna is lower curvy, and I am more of an hourglass shape. So it's still the empire waist looks good on Johanna, and it looks good on Mary Ellen. It will look good. So what I'm describing, and then we're going to have Mary Ellen on in a sec, is I'm describing a maxi dress that is it's called a 3-part dress. So it's one dress, but it has a set-in waistband, which you can feel if you're visually impaired. So instead of just a line, it has about 2 inches of a waistband that's sewn into the garment. And that is right under the bust, so the smallest part of the torso. It's kind of a wrap, so it folds over on the top. It's a deep V neck, which is also very flattering. I have a necklace on the mannequin that is a shorter necklace, Johanna. So it's not a necklace that's long where it's actually on top of the person's stomach. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because even though that's slenderizing, sometimes, especially if you have a pendant, the pendant is landing right at the widest part of your body. So a shorter necklace is probably best. So I have a shorter necklace, and I also have on over it sort of a jersey knit duster, just a swing away like little sweater. Do you know what I mean, Johanna?
Mm-hmm.
You know what a duster is, right? No buttons, so you're not buttoning at the widest part of your body. So that type of a jacket that kind of swings away from your body is really good.
Is it like a shrug?
It's not a shrug. It's like I'm wearing a shrug, so I was just going to say the difference between a shrug. It has long sleeves. It just has no buttons whatsoever, Johanna. It's kind of like a flowy, sweatery type thing. Do you know what I mean? I think you have one. Do you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think I get it.
Okay, so this one is long sleeve. Now, I was just going to point something out. Johanna mentioned, is it a shrug? I'm wearing a shrug, and I'm going to hold my hand up. The shrug ends right above the elbow. So if I'm standing up and my arms are down by the side, the natural tendency of the eye in people that are looking at you is to look where your sleeve ends. So wherever your sleeve ends should be near a small part of your body. So for me, I usually wear something that's pushed up to my elbow. This is a little shorter than I would naturally wear. This type of top actually ends at the elbow, and it ends right at an empire waist. That's good for you, Johanna, and I know you have a bunch of shrugs, don't you?
I don't know. I don't think I do, unless I don't realize what they really are. You know.
Do you wear sleeves to your elbow?
Yeah, I do, but usually it's in a blouse, and it's within the shirt itself. It's not. I don't have like a separate piece.
Okay, but you do. Because you wear also an empire waist sometimes.
Yes.
It's nice to have that sleeve hit like where the waistline is. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
Okay, but for Mary Ellen, what I have on the mannequin, I have actually a long sleeve. So when people are looking at her sleeve line, it's ending at her hips when her arms are down, which is the narrowest part of her body. That's just a little tip that a lot of stylists use, especially for the stars that have to look a certain way. It kind of balances you out, and it's just a quick and easy tip. So we wanted to throw that tip out there. Johanna, are you ready to meet Mary Ellen?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's bring Mary Ellen on.
Hello.
Hi, Mary Ellen.
Hi. I'm so grateful to get all this great advice. Sometimes I was wearing 3/4 length sleeves, and now I'm realizing that wasn't maybe my best look.
Ah, interesting. Naturally, first tell us a little bit about yourself, Mary Ellen. How long have you been in Florida? How did you hear about our show? And also welcome, say hi to Johanna. She's online with us too.
Hi, Johanna.
Hi, Mary Ellen. Welcome to the show.
I'm using your mascara tip about blinking onto the mascara wand.
Oh, great. How is it working out for you?
Pardon? It works. It works very well. I have a little bit of vision, but really, I would hate to depend on it to put on my mascara that precisely. So that's a really great tip. I was born in Florida, and I've lived in Florida most of my life, except for 1 year when I lived in Pennsylvania. And I have a wonderful husband, and we have 2 guide dogs, and we love to walk, to run errands and to participate in outings, and we use the buses, and I'm also a singer. So I have different, mostly my life is pretty casual though, but I like a very elegant, but what I really like is the American sporty look with an elegant twist, I would say.
Oh, great. Just a second, Mary Ellen. And Lenny said something in my ear. Do you have anything on YouTube that we can play and pull up while you're on the show of you singing?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Right. Maybe next time you send us a clip of you singing. Do you get dressed up when you go singing?
Yeah, I will definitely do that.
Where do you sing?
That's a great tip about the long sleeves. And how I heard about you is, it's an interesting thing. I was reading a book by a stylist who's popular right now. Am I allowed to say, I guess I'm allowed to say her name, Jackie Stafford. And then, and I asked Jackie a couple of questions about color, and this celebrity stylist was kind enough to answer my questions and told me to get in touch with Jill Kirsch, and then Jill Kirsch put me in touch with Linda. And Jill Kirsch's makeup and color swatches are awesome. They're really easy to use, and the makeup is lovely.
Yes, it is. We really love Jill. She's her products are great. For those of you know that we talk about them. Johanna and I come and do seminars and one-on-one training with people, and we do use her makeup ourselves. So hi to Jill out there, and thank you for bringing Mary Ellen to us. Now, Mary Ellen, about your figure type, what type of questions, because we have a lot of information for you, but I want to steer it for you in the right way. What types of questions do you have?
Well, what you described on the mannequin, because I'm not looking at my computer, makes good sense to me. I sometimes hear advice that we should that we should try to create a natural waist, and that's, I guess, what the Empire waist does. Then the other day, something I was reading or listening to said that sometimes it works if you actually do wear a wide belt in the middle. I'm thinking maybe with a long tunic, and I'm thinking, I'm not sure about that. So I wanted to get your opinion on that.
I think it's worth trying. I mean, one of my girlfriends who is middle curvy had a wedding dress that actually had a big wide, maybe it was even almost 3 inches wide, set-in waistband, and it really looked great on her. So I think you have to play with that.
Okay.
I definitely think you have to play with that.
Maybe in a color that's not so contrasting from the dress itself. Do you think blend it, something that would not create as much of a visual divide, or not?
I would try both. I'm not sure if maybe white with a black belt might look good. I mean, I definitely wouldn't go with a belt that was a lighter color than the shirt. But you know what's where you're talking about color? Have you experimented? You have the perfect figure type to try all the new jeans that are out, like the pattern jeans and the colorful jeans. Do you do that?
I haven't. I bought. I wear some paler color jeans. I have like an ocean blue that's a real pale. But yes, I think because I am exactly as you described earlier. I have narrow hips and small legs. So yes, I think probably as long as I stick with a solid on top, I probably could wear that.
That's definitely a tip, because you can do the opposite. Johanna and I cannot wear, although Johanna never makes a mistake, right, Johanna? But I do, and sometimes I go crazy and try to wear something bright or colorful as pants or a skirt, and it just throws me off completely. But you can do that, and that is so on trend right now.
Yeah, that's something I definitely might try.
I think you should try it, and a color that's, of course, the mint green is all the rage right now, and anything green. You can also wear a skirt that's shorter, and also in terms of a skirt type, an A-line skirt, so something that flows away from you, but definitely knee length. If you have great legs, you could wear shorts, but I would definitely play with something lighter or brighter on the bottom. And I do like the duster idea. I think that is just something that really lends an air of, like you said, you have an elegant style.
It occurs to me you were talking a little bit about the difference between a duster and a shrug, and I had a question about that. Isn't a duster usually almost like mid-thigh, whereas a shrug, I think of them as ending like almost right at the waist, the bottom of the shrug itself. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. In fact, what I have on the mannequin is like a thin, white, almost a T-shirty type, very flowy piece that packs and travels well. That's longer. It definitely covers the hips. The one that I'm wearing right now, because I wanted to show the difference, the sleeve comes up over the elbow. It's sort of like a little bolero jacket almost. And it curves around, and it is short. It ends at but that would look good on you too.
Oh, you think the shrug would look good?
Yeah, I do think the shrug would look good if you had an Empire waist on. I think it would look good. I would definitely try one on and see, especially if you were wearing something like a flowy maxi. Because again, if you're drawing the emphasis to where the narrowest part of your torso is, that's a good thing. If you're drawing emphasis a little lower than that, that's probably not so good. So you either have to go up towards your face and under your the where the narrowest part of your torso is, or you have to go lower to your hips. That's where I would say to pull the emphasis. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do. That makes perfect sense.
Johanna, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, the idea where it's long sleeves and where it goes to the emphasis it brings the eye down. Also, the necklace not being long, something like a choker, brings the emphasis up, also. So that's why, like, the jewelry would be great, that it's like a choker, not a long necklace.
Yes, absolutely.
I used to wear longer necklaces, and I have recently decided that that's wrong too. That maybe not a real close choker, but something that comes to like just a little bit below my collarbone, maybe.
Yes, like a 16 or 18-inch chain might be good for you.
Now, for the middle body figure, what is the jean type that we recommend, Linda?
Excellent question, Johanna. The jean type is really a boot-cut jean or a flare jean, a slightly flared jean is probably really good for you. Because you have great legs, you could probably go with a capri. A tip is to look for a pant that does not snap in the front and zip, but actually like zips on the side. And I don't know whether you have, I really looked into a couple of things for you, and I know Lenny has some 4 URLs from websites I wanted to talk to Mary Ellen about. But one thing I would say is, I talked about playing with pattern on the bottom, but also, are you familiar with HSN at all, Mary Ellen?
Yes, I am.
Have you ever bought any DG2 jeans?
I'm sorry, any which kind?
DG2 from Diane Gilman?
No, I haven't watched them in quite a while. I didn't, and I was hoping you would mention which designers we should look for on there.
I did. Johanna and I did a little research, and definitely look for something that's pull-on or zips at the side, so you're not adding any bulk at all with a zipper or anything. Yeah. I would check out Diane Gilman on. She actually has the same body type as you. And she has sold millions of jeans on HSN, so I definitely look at those. Boot cut or flare, definitely. And there were a couple other things, and if Lenny gets them, I'll throw them up. Yeah, there's a pair of jeans from Diane Gilman that I put on here. They have slimming panels on them. I'm showing them in kind of a mid-color, but they also have a stripe pattern, like an up and down stripe, a vertical stripe. And they're boot cut. So that's just something that I chose for you that you could look into, and I think it might look really nice with your body type.
That's something I'll have to try, because I've always worn more of a little bit of a straighter leg because my legs are small. But I think I know where you're going with that. That if you bring it in too narrow, then you make your top part look wider.
Yes, you're not balancing it out. And if you have a little bit of a flare, if you have thinner thighs, which you have good thighs, it actually emphasizes your thighs a little bit, which is also a plus. Also, we talked a little bit about dresses, and I know I have a picture of a dress there that's gray that I chose, but do you know what a surplice or surplice top is? It kind of folds over it kind of like folds over itself and might have some ruching on the side.
I think I get the idea of that. I could search that out and see what I can find that would, because I do have a little bit of vision. I could probably see a picture of that.
Yes, and when you watch the show, you'll be able to see when we get to it. We have a photo of a dress that kind of folds over on the top, like one side folding over, almost like the old Diane von Furstenberg look.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean when Diane von Furstenberg had that wrap dress? Johanna, you do, right?
Do. Yes, I do.
By the way, she's back. I saw a Diane von Furstenberg dress yesterday at the mall. And so that wrap look is a great look for you because, again, it's got like an A-line skirt. If you get a wrap that goes around and kind of cinches you right under the bust line, that's a great look for you.
I used to have a wrap dress that somebody made for me that was her design, and I thought it was one of my best looks, yeah.
Oh, yeah, so I would review that wrap. I have a couple of dresses that we're showing here that I got from the internet that have that kind of wrap look and also that empire waist. You have to be careful with the color, so definitely use your Jill Kirsch colors. And in terms of patterns, always make sure that the pattern fits in with your color as well. I talked about 3-part dressing. Definitely deep V-neck for you. Do you wear a lot of V-necks?
No.
No?
Yes, I love the deep V.
Yes, you can get away with deep V. Again, emphasize your earrings with beautiful earrings. Johanna tonight is wearing a necklace that's filling in her shirt. That would look very nice on you. You can have a lot of fun with jewelry. I would have a lot of fun with rings too, because again, your hand, when it goes down low, is going to emphasize your hips.
Tough bracelets, I would think too.
Bracelets too. Now, an interesting note is that Oprah does never wears any necklaces. Has anyone ever noticed that?
No.
A long time ago, I thought she did, but because I think I remember seeing her one day in a necklace that I thought was a mistake, like you were talking about not letting your pendant lay on your belly.
Yes.
But I'm talking about way, many years ago.
Yeah, she says she doesn't anymore. Now, she has actually has a lot of pieces from Mark Badgley and James Mishka, Badgley Mishka, who, by the way, have a line on HSN you should check out. But what they do for her is they build in the jewelry into the neckline. Johanna, can you talk a little about that? I know you have a couple of tops like that.
Yeah, I have a couple of tops that I happen to get at Avenue, believe it or not. And there's a lot of beading and sequins and metal work that it actually looks like, instead of a necklace, you wouldn't wear anything with it. It's the whole neckline, so that your necklace is really like built in. I have one that has, a thick beading and some brass on it too that's sewed on. Some that are just different type of sequins and beading on another one, along with a print. It's connected with a print. And
Yes.
One is a black and white print, one is more has brown and black and beige. I'm trying to think, do I have another one like that, or I just and I also have something that it's black and there's a lot of different shells and stones sewed along the shell and the jacket.
Yes.
So,
Mary Ellen, we have only a couple of minutes left in the show.
Well, you've been very generous with your time. Something that you might address one time is if you're picking out things like that, should we maybe have a good, trusted friend? Because how do you separate what might be really good and tasteful from what might be gaudy? And I won't take any more. I know you've been so generous with me to share all these wonderful tips.
Well, thank you. We want to have a picture of you, Mary Ellen. We want to keep in touch with you and have you be a part of the show. And Johanna will, I will say goodbye, and Johanna will answer your question. Johanna, is it good to have a trusted friend with you?
Yes, absolutely. I always do either a salesperson that you have a relationship with, or some of the stores have personal shoppers. But definitely, if you have a friend that tells you the truth, which all of us visually impaired women need, and men too, that's an excellent way. But if you don't have
friends
that
to tell you the real truth about, I think they're hard to come by. I think because most of us are so sensitive about our bodies and all that maybe people are they're kind of afraid to say. I do have one friend that does really, that she'll tell you, take that off. That's horrible.
So will we. So call us anytime, Mary Ellen, and we want to say bye to everybody. We'll see you next month, and have a good one.
Thank you, and the wonderful show. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much. Bye, Johanna.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Happy Mother's Day.
Looking Good Without Looking is produced by Linda Zani Thomas in cooperation with the WTOE Radio Network. All words, ideas, and content expressed on the Looking Good Without Looking are solely those of Linda Zani Thomas, and not necessarily those of the National Federation of the Blind, the Northeast New Jersey chapter, or the WTOE Internet Radio Network. To contact Linda about your personal style journey, email her at lindazani@aol.com, LINDAZANI@aol.com, or join the Looking Good Without Looking Facebook page.
That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good, good night.
Hi, I'm Keith Zalley, your announcer here at throughoureyes.org. I'd like to ask all our listeners who have not yet registered at Through Our Eyes to consider doing so. Registering helps us ascertain whom our listeners are, where they come from, if they are blind or visually impaired, as well as other information which helps us guide us in providing programming that will meet our visitors' needs. I urge all our listeners to register today. It's free and only takes a minute to complete the process. Please read our privacy policy so you can be assured that the information you provide stays with us and only us, and you'll never get any unwanted emails. Are you stuck in front of your computer listening to our shows? Well, you may be happy to know that you don't have to be anymore. Hi, this is Keith Zalley, your announcer here at WTOE Radio. Of course you know we broadcast live on throughoureyes.org, but did you know we simulcast on Facebook, Ustream.tv, as well as all of our show's host websites? And now you don't have to be stuck trying to catch your favorite show on your computer. You can listen or even watch our shows live right on your smartphone or iPad. During broadcast nights, just point your phone or iPad browser to our mobile site, m.throughoureyes.org, and click on the Listen or Watch Live link. WTOE also offers many smart apps for your iPhone, BlackBerry, Android, Windows Mobile, or Nokia phones, iPads too, all for free. Visit our main site, www.throughoureyes.org/appstores.html, and download your free app today.
Hi, this is Joe Ruffalo of WTOE Radio. If you are a resident in New Jersey and would like to join one of our chapters or have some more information about our chapters, please contact me at 973-743-0075 or email me at nfbnj@yahoo.com.
Hi, I'm Keith Zalley, your announcer here at throughoureyes.org. Thanks for tuning in to WTOE Radio's live broadcast. Our recording session will start shortly. While you are waiting, I'd like to ask all our listeners who have not yet registered at Through Our Eyes to consider doing so. Registering helps us ascertain whom our listeners are, where they come from, if they are blind or visually impaired, as well as other important information which helps us guide us in providing programming that will meet our visitors' needs. I urge all our listeners to register today. It's free and only takes a minute to complete the process. Please read our privacy policy so you can be assured that the information you provide stays with us and only us, and you'll never get any unwanted emails. Well, we're almost ready to begin. Since what you are about to listen to is live, after each recording of the show, you'll hear approximately 15 minutes of music. This is the time we are contacting our next guest for the next show. When the show starts, you'll hear it in its entirety. Our recording sessions usually comprise 3 separate shows, each about 15 to 20 minutes in length, with approximately 15 minutes between each session. So once again, thanks for listening to WTOE Radio Live. Our recording session will start momentarily. I'm Keith Zalley. next hour, join Steve and his guests as they talk about topics geared to educate and inform his audience. Listen as Steve brings his unique experiences as an author, business leader, teacher, and law enforcement professional to the conversation. Together with outstanding guests, Steve asks the questions that make a difference in his listeners' lives. You're guaranteed to be better off after you listen to the KOVACS Perspective than before his show started. So, sit back, relax, and see what his show can do for you.
Welcome to the KOVACS Perspective, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Steve KOVACS. Our first guest today is the author of a book that has a title and a topic that will make your eyes open up real wide when you just hear the title and hear the subject matter. It's called A Kosher Dating Odyssey, one former Texas Baptist quest for a naughty and nice Jewish girl. Let me repeat that. The title of the book and what we're going to be talking about at the first half of the program is A Kosher Dating Odyssey, one former Texas Baptist quest for a naughty, gotta say that, naughty and a nice Jewish girl. He'll tell us about growing up in a small Texas town, getting educated at Princeton, and posh living in New York City and Connecticut. All this and online dating and not online dating, and using an approach for dating like a marketer's approach, etc., etc., etc. A unique quest to find that naughty and nice Jewish babe. It's going to be a journey of the flesh that we're going to hear about, and the spirit. So stick around and listen to this this really unique thing that I really got to bite into. Secondly, our second half of the show will have Steve the Dean Williams. He's a relationship and sex expert. He'll tell us his views and advice on dating, love, and happiness, and some out-of-the-box sex techniques. Kind of curious on that. Out-of-the-box sex techniques he's going to tell us about. Steve will also talk about what it takes to have a happy marriage, why so many men, I don't know about this, are lousy in bed, so he says, and how to cheat-proof your relationship. You know, as Steve says, his advice isn't like chicken soup. Chicken soup for the soul, like the famous book. It's stuff that we've heard, not heard. It's opposite to most of the advice we hear about relationships and dating and maybe even sex. So it's off the beaten path. His advice will be. So Steve's going to talk to us about all kinds of good stuff. I'm going to pick Steve's brain. So, you got to stay with us. Your spirit and your flesh demands it. Stick around. We'll be back in 2 minutes and 2 seconds.
We'll be right back with Steve and his guests right after these few messages.
When you open a book, you can explore new worlds, meet new friends, and discover new adventures, like the ones in the Chronicles of Narnia.
Impossible!
Are you prepared for what awaits you? To find out more about the wonders of reading, you can visit the Library of Congress website at www.loc.gov and let your journey begin. This message has been brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Hey, Jack, you got a sec?
Yeah, sure, come on in.
Yeah, I was wondering if you... Jack, your hair's on fire.
Yeah, I know. I just need to finish this sales report, and then I'll probably, let me lie down for a bit. But I'm sure it'll go away.
But the flames are getting bigger. Shouldn't I... Your hair, there's so much fire.
No, I'll be fine. What can I help you with? Oh, dear. Well, at least we know the sprinkler system works.
You wouldn't ignore this, so why ignore the signs of a stroke? If you or someone you know suddenly experiences numbness of the face, arm, or leg, or sudden trouble speaking, seeing, or walking, don't wait to get help. Call 911 right away, because time lost is brain lost. To find out more, visit www.strokeassociation.org or call 1-888-4STROKE. This message brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Graduating high school can be a struggle.
for all sorts of reasons.
Since the hurricane, a lot of things have disappeared. Our school was made into a shelter, sort of, and a lot of people went there, and teachers didn't have transportation or couldn't really get out.
But they still want to graduate.
I want to graduate from my family, basically, to show them that I could do it, that I never quit.
See what it's really like to try and finish high school. Go to boostup.org and see the stories of 10 at-risk teens from across the nation trying to graduate, and give someone you know a boost so they can finish. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
And now back to the KOVACS Perspective.
Well, hey, everybody, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. Our first guest is the author of A Kosher Dating Odyssey. A Kosher Dating Odyssey. One former Texas Baptist quest for a naughty and nice Jewish girl. Please welcome our guest, Van Wallach. How are you, Van?
Thanks, Steve. I'm doing good here in Connecticut tonight.
Van, you got to tell me about this. I mean, the title is amazing to me. And when I looked into your bio, your history, I find out that, and tell me if I'm wrong, that you were born or raised rather in a small Texas town, and you grew up in the Baptist faith. Am I correct on that?
That's right, Steve. Even though my 100% Jewish, my parents are Jewish, grandparents going back generations, but through family circumstances, I wound up growing up a Baptist.
Okay, you grew up as a Baptist, a Texas town. How'd you go from a small town Texas town community to Princeton for your education?
I had very good SAT scores.
Okay, that's great answer.
That's one part of it. I grew up with a love of education. My town, Mission, Texas, I think I got a very good education. Teachers that loved learning. I was encouraged to write, history, politics, English, good education. During the summers, I visited my father. My parents were divorced, and my father eventually wound up living in Manhattan, so I visited him, and he encouraged an interest in structured, rigorous education. I went to different Ivy League schools. I applied for several, and I was accepted to Princeton, and that's where I decided to go. So that's what got me out of South Texas and into the Northeast.
Van, I'm not sure if you realize, but to me at least, you really, the beginning of what you started to say, really explained how people can, quote unquote, be smart. How you said that your love for learning and how you were encouraged and kind of mentored and shown that learning is a good thing and a fun thing, and you had a kind of a passion for it. So a little bit off the topic, I think you said a lot about learning, but you got us out of Texas. Now I know what happened. So then you got into the big time. You're in New York City, the biggest city in arguably, I guess, in the world, but the top place to be. You're Princeton educated. Are you still a Baptist there walking down those streets with the high rises? Are you still baptizing, being a Baptist?
No, not at all, Steve. When I was in high school, I went through, you could call it a spiritual crisis, and different factors led me to become interested in my Jewish background, which I was always aware of. And I gradually became to think of myself less and less as a Christian and more as a Jew. And by the time I graduated from high school, I completely identified with my Jewish heritage, and I've done that ever since. I moved to New York, and while my friends were out, going to discos and bars, I was going to synagogues and temples and trying to scope out that side of my life.
All right, that's cool. So you scoped out that part of your life. Now the root of all evil comes into the picture, Van. And I'm kidding. I'm going to say women, and I'm just joking because people are throwing stuff at the computer. So you're at Temple. You're scoping out that part of your life, which is excellent. When did women fall into this mix for Van?
Jewish women as soon as I got to Princeton. And I never knew any Jewish women until I didn't know any Jews outside my family until I went to college. And then at Princeton, I met Jewish women. I instantly found them very attractive, and they became a mix of part of my life before then. And then in junior high and high school, I was like a typical teenager, and I was, entranced by the girls I grew up with. And so it was a continuation of what I'd always been interested in. And the only thing changed, once I got to New York, I could really start exploring Jewish dating, and it was great.
Okay, now I have many Jewish acquaintances throughout the years. I've had many Jewish friends. So I have Christian friends. I just name it, But some people, Van, my guess is, might not be in the same boat I am. And the reason I even bring this up is, is there a difference between a Jewish woman and a Christian woman other than the faith?
The faith would be the main thing. There might be an degree of education. Many Jewish women go to college, graduate school, culturally aware that way, but primarily it's a matter of faith. I mean, there are Christian women who are very educated and passionate, and there are Jewish women that are that way. Besides the religion, there's also a degree of cultural background. So Jewish women would have an upbringing, maybe not similar, obviously not like mine, but certainly similar to what I've experienced the last, say, 35 years of my life in terms of Jewish holidays, Jewish learning, Jewish way of looking at life. So I respect Christian women, I respect Jewish women. It's a matter of what you gravitate toward.
Well, there's no doubt about it, Van. I think you and I both agree on we're going to respect everybody because human beings are human beings. But I just got an email from an Italian viewer, and he said, hey, and he's not being mean or bad or anything. He says, Jewish women are like Italian moms. He mentioned moms. He said, Jewish moms and Italian moms. And I grew up with a lot of Italians, Van, and they're nurturing and they're there to help you. What are you doing, Steve? Or Van, and they're kind of similar. So I guess then that's a cultural thing, maybe, Van, huh? The what I'm explaining there?
Yeah, I mean, my background, and this is something I tried to express in the book, is totally different from most Jews and from a lot of people. I grew up in a town in South Texas that was 90% Hispanic and 10% Anglo and no other Jewish influences. So my perspective is I didn't know any Jews. I didn't really know any Italians. So are Jews more nurturing? Are they like Italian moms? Depends on the...
Sure. We don't want to take this too far. I mean, there are some, there aren't some. I'm kind of tongue-in-cheeking this. Yeah. People are people. We all, I come from Eastern European heritage. We're all, we all got our little things going on. But I'm going to get into juicier stuff. Women are women. We're going to respect them all. How about, why did you look for a naughty Jewish woman there, Van? Talk to me about that.
Because I'm a guy. I like naughtiness. If you grow up reading Letters to Penthouse, then you're going to kind of think in terms of, naughtiness. And so I wanted somebody, I always attracted women who were kind of girly women, who were confident in their femininity and their, maybe an erotic sense. And that's what I wanted. I didn't want somebody who was nice all the time. And fortunately, over the decades in the past, I've known women who very amply combine the two of them. And in fact, in the book, I talk about several women who were outstanding in bringing together those two sides of their lives.
The nice and the naughty side. They brought those two areas together nicely, is what you're saying. Yeah. I understand what you're saying. I'm trying to get it. I don't want to get too serious but you're being very serious, and I understand that.
Okay.
That is the ultimate, isn't it, Van, for a female probably to do. They'll bring those two features, I'll call them, two qualities, two character pieces and parts together, right? To have those two together.
Yeah, because we're all body and soul, and if you're overemphasizing one over the other, then you're going to have a rather unbalanced life. So you got to have a woman who likes to, put on her Victoria's Secret and, some perfume and paint her nails up and, kind of be a girly girl. And that's very appealing. But at the same time, you want somebody who, you don't want somebody who's like out of, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills in terms of personality. So it's got to be both.
Gotcha. Did you have a tough time doing that? Because, Van, you had mentioned that you really put your mind and your passion into synagogue and finding that part of your life. Was it hard for you looking for that part of your life and then finding a woman that you can be romantic with and yet have the religious? Was it hard? You said that you found a few and met a few that got those two things together quite well, but was it a tough journey for you?
It's the toughest part of it is finding a personality compatibility. Look, just because somebody goes to synagogue and temple and likes to have seders, they can still get crazy too. They're like, we've all got multiple sides of our lives, and a woman can do that and be committed to Judaism, but she can also be somebody who likes to go out dancing, go out and hear music, go listen to a concert, and if you go into the really orthodox side of things, then they're going to be more subdued. But that was never where I gravitated to. So yeah, somebody can be proudly Jewish, but then she can also be kind of wild and crazy in her own way too. And it's just a matter of finding them.
Now, Van, speaking of finding them, you kind of used a marketing or marketer's approach. I read that about you. What the heck's that mean? Were you like, did you have ads out or something?
Steve, I used to think of dating profiles as ads for myself. And since I'm a writer, I had sort of an unfair advantage in that I could write a profile that I think captured my personality and was able to separate me from all the other guys out there, with their Corvettes and ski chalets that were trying to appeal to women. So I very much thought of my profile as an ad for myself. And I would hit themes that I knew would attract women that I wanted to connect with. So it was very deliberate.
So what are those themes that you used that connected with the women that you were looking for?
Articulate. I like to write about myself, different sides of myself, such as I love studying languages, educated. I talked about fathering. I have a son, and I made sure to say in my profile that I like to do things with him and that I'm attuned to the needs of mothers. A lot of guys don't want to really get involved with women with young children, but I always said very explicitly, I love moms and I love kids, and your kids will always come first. They'll never be an issue in the relationship. And, talk about the music I like, the movies I'd like, and I just tried to be myself because that's what I want people to respond to.
Well, Van, from what you just said, I'm guessing you had ladies throwing panties at you. I'm just kidding, but it sounds like a lot of women must have liked that.
I figured that during the time I was dating that I probably had maybe a 10% hit rate in the sense of sending out emails and contacting people, and the number of women that say responded and then we maybe chatted online, maybe 10%. It varied. Throwing panties at me, I wish. I can't really say that happened. I'm not Tom Jones. So
it's funny you say that, Van. That's exactly, and maybe we're dating ourselves, but that's exactly who I think of when I say that, about the panties. Tom Jones. I guess he had that all the time. That and hotel keys. All right, Van. Now, you're in that generation that a little bit before, or not even. Maybe that's not the right way to say it, but you probably dated or marketed yourself. Not online, and then also online, right? Both ways. Am I correct?
Yes, that's right. I was part of the 80s generation that was still putting ads in New York Magazine and Village Voice and doing introductions that way. I was married for a dozen years, and then after I got divorced, suddenly it was all electronic, and things totally changed. So yes, I have experience from from both sides of it, and it's a huge difference.
Well, tell us about what's the difference. I don't know very much about it.
Sure. The difference, Steve, is that with digital dating, you can say a lot more about yourself in a profile, and B, it's far more visual. You can put in a lot of photos of yourself and show different moods. You couldn't do that in the Village Voice of New York, or I mean, maybe there were like kind of, other magazines that for other interests, or maybe they did that, but it was prior it was a very slow process where you're mailing pictures, you're sending letters, and then a couple of weeks back you hear from people. With online dating, it's like instantaneous. Like you see the person, you're talking to them in a matter of seconds, they want to engage with you. So it also, online dating also opens up a huge number of possibilities. I was literally in touch with women all around the world.
Okay, you were. I wanted to save this for a few minutes, but did you find that one naughty, nice girl, nice Jewish girl that you wanted to settle down with for the rest of your life, or did you find a couple of them, or a whole bunch of them?
I would say that there were to settle down with for the rest of my life. I wasn't really thinking in those terms all the time. I found women over, say, the 5 years I was active on JDating Match that I was deeply attracted to, and where sometimes they wanted things to happen and I didn't. Sometimes I wanted things to happen and they didn't. So it was very mixed. I closed the book saying that I have been dating somebody that I met on JDate for the past 5 years, and we're happy. We have a lot of fun together, and it's worked out well.
Why did you write the book? Is it just because you like writing, or is there a message, or do you think you could help? Did you think you'd be able to help somebody also?
I think it was a combination of factors. I wanted to get my story out there. I feel that I've had a very unusual upbringing that I thought would make a compelling story, and people, in fact, have responded probably the best to the first chapter in the book, where I talk about my family history. My mother, my grandparents come from about 6 generations of Texans on my mother's side. And so I wanted to get that story out there. I wanted to talk about my perspective on both growing up in Texas and moving, and also my spiritual evolution, and then also a male perspective on online dating. If you look at books written on online dating, they're primarily by women, which makes them fascinating in their own way, but there's a real dearth of material by men. The books you read by men are primarily like how to be a pickup king, and more like the technical aspects of it, like how to seduce women, how to be a pickup artist. And that's not what I'm about at all. I wanted to really say this is a man's perspective on how online dating works, what a man looks for, how a man responds to women, and I would hope that people might read this and come away with some ideas on how to have fun and make a success out of it.
Excellent. Well put. Now, we only got about a minute and a half left, but I got to touch on this because you just said it yourself. Your background is extremely different, unique. Texas, Jewish, you mentioned mostly Hispanic. Never saw an Italian person. Then you go to Manhattan, a great education, top of the line school. Now, in a minute, let's see how good you are, Van. I think you're going to be good. You'll be able to help me here. Is there a common thread between the people in Texas, small town, Manhattan, looking for men, women? Is there a common thread, or is it all really different?
Definitely there's a common thread, Steve. I mean, people are people. In Texas, people want love, they want affection, they want companionship, they want to do things, they want friendship. You move to Manhattan, Connecticut, people want the same things. I mean, there's a universal commonality among people. The mix of what they want may be different, but you scratch the surface, you get somebody from Mission, Texas, together with somebody from Westport, Connecticut, and if they're open and honest, they're going to have things to talk about, and they're going to share. They're going to want to talk about love, they're going to talk about kids, they're going to talk about companionship. It's the universal connection that we all share.
Van, you could not have said that better. That was said great. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking with Van Wallach, the author of A Kosher Dating Odyssey, one former Texas Baptist quest for a naughty and nice Jewish girl. He explains stuff really well. It's a book I'd like to dive into. It sounds like a unique journey there, Van. I want to thank you. We got to get going. Thanks for being my guest, my friend.
Thank you, Steve. I've enjoyed it.
Okay, my pleasure too. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a longer break, but don't go away. We're going to return with Steve the Dean Williams, a relationship and sex expert. Can't miss this. See you soon.
Hey everybody, this is Keith Zalley from the WTOE Radio Network, and right now we're going to take a few extra minute break just so we can save our files for our podcast. So please don't go anywhere because there's going to be more Steve in a few minutes.
It slices, it dices, with razor-like edges that never need sharpening. It's not a blender. It's not a set of steak knives. It's car windshield. And now it can be yours. Here's how. Next time you're in a car and the driver's driving recklessly, simply say nothing. That's right. Let them change CDs. Let them text on their phones. Ignore that little voice in your head that's trying to warn you. And you too can experience car windshield. Passengers who have tried car windshield agree. It's a smash. Car windshield may not be for everyone, as it can lead to severe side effects and even death. Please consult your physician after you've experienced car windshield. Passengers who wish to avoid car windshield can do so by following simple steps, like trusting their instincts, speaking up, and telling their friends to slow down.
In the real world, there is no spokesperson to prevent reckless driving. There's only you. Speak up.
Act now. Paramedics are standing by.
This has been a message from the Ad Council. For more information, go to youarethespokesperson.com.
Have you ever lost a cat? And have you ever wanted to get your cat back after you lost it? Hi there, I'm Andrew Hoffman. I went on this website called inventnow.org. Then I decided to make an invention of my own. It's called the Lost Cat Magnet invention. So you can get your cat back after you lost it. Just turn it on, and lost cats stick to it. That's a good cat. If your cat was hiding up in a tree, it won't be up a tree anymore. It will be stuck to the lost cat magnet. And sometimes they fly toward you in the air. Just listen to one satisfied cat. See, that's proof. You should go to the inventnow.org website too. But just remember one thing. Don't do a lost cat magnet.
Anything's possible. Keep thinking. Get started on your own inventions or just play some games at inventnow.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, the National Inventors Hall of Fame Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Hey, Jack, you got a sec?
Yeah, sure, come on in.
Yeah, I was wondering if you... Jack, your hair's on fire.
Yeah, I know. I just need to finish this sales report, and then I'll probably, I don't know, let me lie down for a bit. But I'm sure it'll go away.
But the flames are getting bigger. Shouldn't I... Your hair, there's so much fire.
No, I'll be fine. What can I help you with? Oh, dear. Well, at least we know the sprinkler system works.
You wouldn't ignore this, so why ignore the signs of a stroke? If you or someone you know suddenly experiences numbness of the face, arm, or leg, or sudden trouble speaking, seeing, or walking, don't wait to get help. Call 911 right away, because time lost is brain lost. To find out more, visit www.strokeassociation.org or call 1-888-4STROKE. This message brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
If you're not facing your mortgage issues, this can be the most terrifying sound in the world. It means you've fallen behind. It means hope is dwindling. It means you're another call closer to losing your home to foreclosure. Fortunately, there's hope. If you need real help and guidance, call 1-888-995-HOPE. That's 1-888-995-4673. Because nothing is worse than doing nothing. A public service announcement brought to you by NeighborWorks, the Ad Council, and this station.
And now back to the KOVACS Perspective.
Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Steve KOVACS with you. Our next guest is Steve the Dean Williams. He's a relationship and sex expert who's been he's been giving out no-nonsense and blunt dating advice for many, many years. Let's find out what Steve has to tell us, and maybe he can enlighten us a little bit and be a little bit better on our quest in dating and sex and all that good stuff. Steve, how are you?
Thank you. I'm very fine, and I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you on. Steve, do me a favor, do the folks a favor, tell us a little bit about you and set you up. Tell us what you're about and tell us why we should listen to you, why we should listen to your advice.
Well, the reason you should listen to my advice is because I'm for the guys here. For guys, the reason you should listen to my advice is because I've done everything that you've always fantasized or wanted to do. I have gone, again, at a young age, I was lucky enough to sleep with a 24-year-old married stripper that showed me about relationships. I've done a lot of things. Did a little bit of gigoloing, but, I mean, we're keeping it clean. But I've done a lot of things, but I've been married for 14 years. I'm retired. So what I've done through my pathway is show guys that you don't have to necessarily give your respect away or spend money to get the woman that you want.
Steve, you know what got me immediately, and it gave me a smile on my face. You said you're married for 14 years and you're retired. Yes. So you looked at as your playing days, right, as kind of a livelihood, right?
Well, yeah. It's a livelihood for every man that really wants to admit the truth. That's what we are here for. If we take away Facebook, electricity, and everything, and go back to our primal nature, that's what we are. We are hunters. So, yes. But it's great. Retirement is great, though. That's why I'm here, because I'm retired.
Why is retirement, why is retirement great? I mean, I get the impression you had a nice time dating and everything. Why is retirement great? You found the right person for you?
Yo, absolutely. Well, because like we teach our guys when it comes to, I don't teach love, I teach respect. And what's so great in this Facebook cheating, Ashley Madison world, I'm lucky enough to have a woman because I was man enough to find a great woman that we don't argue. In 14 years, we only had 5 issues and they were my fault. 5. And these weren't even arguments.
Wow, that's pretty cool too. You know what caught me there, Dean, is you had 5 issues and they were your fault. You're being a man. I mean, you manned up to that, right?
Well, yeah, it was just that my wife wants me to come to bed when I'm a workaholic. So my wife asked me to come to bed, and sometimes I fell asleep 5 times in my office. So that was a problem. But other than that, we don't fight, and that's the lie that a lot of guys are giving, that you have to argue. You have to have problems with your woman or your wife to make it work, and that's totally against what we teach.
Okay, and tell the folks what you do. You've got a couple of websites, right? You're coaching. Tell me what you're about, Steve.
Well, okay, they all link to School of Dating or SBW Coaching. So I like to use schoolofdating.com for this. But what I do is I teach guys everything and every tool they need, from meeting women, talking to women, this thing we call 5 play, because we teach the vultures and hornets and not the birds and bees when it comes to sex. We teach you how to talk, how to make love to a woman, how to figure out what type of woman you're dealing with. So we're starting to cover marriage also. So we cover every aspect for the guy, where we are creating a lifestyle for you where you can demand respect and not run behind women.
Okay, and I'll bet you when you say that you're going to demand respect for the women, I'm guessing that you'd give them as much respect as you demand from them. Am I wrong on that? Maybe I am.
Yes, sir. I believe that we teach our guys to treat women the way you want to be treated. And the number one rule, we have 2 rules here. Number 1 rule, you will not allow any drama into your life. And if any drama comes in, they're gone. Rule number 2 is see rule number 1.
Now, is that rule number 1, is that one of 4 that you have? Because I know you have 4 things that you feel a man needs to have or do to be successful with women. Is that one of them?
Oh, no. The 4 things he needs is knowledge of self, knowledge of women, knowledge of dating, and knowledge of sex. He needs those 4 things in order to be the guy that we're trying to show them. Because a lot of people think just because you have money makes you a man, or you have wealth, or you're a movie star. That doesn't make you a man. Because there's a lot of guys who have a lot of money who are having problems in the bedroom. There's a lot of guys who are good in the bedroom but are having drama issues with their relationships. So you need those four things.
How do you get rid of drama? How do you not let drama in your life, Dean?
It's very simple. And again, one thing you have to realize is that as a man, there's no such thing as a problem. A problem is the meteor size of Jupiter heading towards Earth. If you're having a problem with your woman, there's a solution. And you, again, when you meet her, because there's different phases in dating, that's something I hope we can talk about because that's another problem. But the thing is, you have to let her know that I will not tolerate any drama, period.
When you say you won't tolerate it, if it comes about, what do? You try to rectify it, and if it doesn't rectify, you take a hike?
Oh, absolutely, because that's the value you have as a man. I'm not here to train you well, you train people on how to treat you, but I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm going to give you that choice, but again, I'm going to treat you the way I want to be treated.
Okay, I lost, I can't hear the Dean.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you now fine, Dean.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that, I lost my train of thought. No, I was saying that we don't want drama. We treat people the way we want to be treated. And if she does anything opposite or takes that kindness for weakness, we will give a warning, but after that, we're gone.
Now, do some people think you're a little bit harsh in that advice, or no?
Well, no, it's not really harsh, but the problem is a lot of people don't understand the different facets of relationships, and they muddle all those things as one. And then when things don't work out, they wonder why it doesn't work out. And what we teach them is there's different levels and different phases that you must go through.
Steve the Dean, why do you say no to dinner dates? You give men advice, right? I mean, that's one of the big things traditionally, isn't it, Steve? I'm going on a date. We're going to have dinner. We're going to have dinner. Why do you say no to that? Why do you tell folks, men, not to do that?
Because you have to do the thing you don't know how to do, and that's talk. When you meet her, you have to talk. When you're driving down the street, you have to talk. When you get to the restaurant, you have to talk. You got to talk during appetizers. You got to talk during eating. I mean, you know what I mean. You have to talk. And the problem is we call them boring bobs. The who, what, when, where, why, boring questions that automatically kill your game. So instead of going to dinner and feeding her, because that's all you're doing, you're really spending your money, investing your money on somebody you don't really know, which is a bad investment. I'd rather you go to coffee because it's not about how much you can feed her, it's to see if you're compatible.
Mm-hmm. And how do you tell if someone's marriage material and not just booty material?
Well, that's where it goes into the phases, because you have the dating phase, you have the dating and meeting phase, and then you have the relationship phase. Let's just use those two phases because there's many more. Now, when we get to the dating phase and we decide to become a couple, we have to have a powwow where you let me know what you're expecting, I'm going to let you know what I'm expecting, and if we don't meet up correctly, we fall back, and then that's where you become the booty call. But just because we're in a relationship doesn't mean you're marriage material, because after the dating, the relationship, the moving in phase then after the moving in phase, the engagement phase, and then the marriage phase, if you were lucky to get to that phase.
Okay, which you did 14 years ago, right?
Oh, yeah, well, absolutely. Well, yeah, again, because I know as a man what I want and what I expect out of my wife. I'm just not going to accept a woman just because she's beautiful.
Hey, Steve, speaking of that, I know it's different for everybody, but is there a generality on what we want, or what a and I don't want to use the words perfect, because really nothing's perfect. You know, man's all fallible, but what is the closest thing to a perfect woman? Or is that a tough question? Is that an unanswerable
it's easy.
question?
A woman who respects you as a man, and again, this is going to sound misogynistic and Neanderthal, but knows her place at the dinner table. And what I mean by that, a woman who sees you as equal, who treats you as an equal, that doesn't try to belittle you, try to be your mother, try to tell you what you can do and what you can't do, and try to withhold sex from you. I don't even know how that even works.
All right. Now, I'm I'm liking what you're saying because you're not pulling no punches. You're telling me I don't have to pull teeth from you. What's the perfect man? Now you told me what the perfect woman is. What's the perfect man?
The perfect man is the same thing, but he has to be able to give a woman a mental and physical orgasm. If you can't give her the orgasm and you don't know what you're doing in bed, that's going to be the biggest problem you have.
Okay. Now I want to talk about being bad and good in bed, but so the perfect man is almost identical to the perfect woman, other than the sex thing is the biggest difference. Am I correct?
Well, you must be a leader. You have to be head of household. You have to be a leader. If you're not a leader, you will not get respect.
You know, many people will agree 100% with you on that, and many people will say that you are espousing something that was around 100 years ago, and some societies have fallen behind because they're not doing that. But many people, I'm sure, are throwing stuff at you, and you probably get some crap from people, right? And disagreeing with you.
Oh no, I count my receipts. Again, what person you know that's been married in this day and age, 14 years, happy, no arguments, the wife is very happy, the kids are happy. What kind of people do you know like that these day and age? When divorce happens, after the first, second, or third year of marriage?
It does, yeah. About 50% of marriages get divorced.
So the wheel's not broken. Why don't you need to fix it?
Yeah. You know, I got to talk about this, and I don't want to lose too much time. I want to go down this topic area a little bit because, you know, this is a crucial part of what men want and women also. Why are so many men bad in bed?
Well, because they're stuck in Miss Crabtree's 5th grade birds and bees. This is a penis and this is a vagina, and you touch it. That's the problem. They don't know how to be the whore, the freak, the lover, the dildo, the seducer. They don't know how to put those hats on and mentally stimulate a woman and physically stimulate her in a way where you can do it without touching her, and that's what we teach guys.
Well, that's interesting. You say mentally stimulate, and I think anybody that knows anything about sex, the science of it, et cetera, would agree with that it's so much of it is mental, correct?
Oh, yeah, because the way you are outside the bedroom is the same way they perceive you in the bedroom. So if you're afraid and you're insecure and you're scary, you're that 5-minute guy. I don't want you to be the 5-minute guy. I don't want you to be the amusement ride. I want you to be the amusement park.
I got you. Why should people stay away? And I know this is how you feel, and everybody's doing it nowadays. Not everybody, but, you know, a vast majority. Why stay away from internet dating, Steve?
Well, the problem is because you're getting a false person. We're both, and men and women, I will say for both. They're walking lies. They're trying to put their best foot forward, trying to show you the best things about them. We tell our guys, be honest. Show them who you are and let them either accept you or not accept you, but don't lie to the woman.
Well, you know, I bet people are listening to you, Steve, the Dean Williams, and they're going, I want to punch this guy, but
of course
But wait a minute, but I'm going to say more. I think they're also saying, some of them are going, well, but that made sense. Don't lie. Treat them with respect. So I think you're having some people going, this guy's a Neanderthal, and some are. I'm sure they're saying, you know, this makes a lot of sense. So let's keep on exploring here. First of all, tell the folks if they go to schoolofdating.com.
Yes.
What do they see? What can they get there?
Okay, you get free video boot camps. You get a live radio show. You'll get podcasts. We have tons of free information to show you what we do. And we also have products if you want to incorporate those things in you and have a better life or better relationships with women. And we have testimonials. We don't have the written ones. You click on testimonials, and you'll get to hear our students who have come to our site.
Interesting. And that, again, is schoolofdating.com? That's it?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Hey, now I got to pick your brain here. How does a person attract the right, this is for women now. How does a woman, because we've been mainly talking about guys, how does a woman attract the right man for herself?
First, she's got to get rid of the fairy tale, number one. And number two, she's got to do the thing that she has to become what I call the cool chick. And the cool chick is a chick that goes against the grain of what they've been told by Oprah and these TVs and books and Twilight and all these other things that, you know, you get to be on the pedal while the guy puts fruit at your feet. If you want to get a man to be the cool chick, the first homework assignment I would tell you ladies to do, and they'll fight me on this one, is when you go to a club and you see a guy that you're interested in, go ahead and buy him a drink. Shake his hand, introduce yourself, buy him a drink, and I guarantee it that he is going to talk about you, as if you came from the planet woman, and you're different because you're not like the other women that are stuck up and expecting guys to bend over backwards for them, like it's an expectation.
Well, that's an interesting point, and I'm not going to disagree with you on that. That's quite interesting. I may have people throwing their pens at my face now too. Before, Steve, they were throwing the pens at your face. Now they're probably throwing it at mine. But how you explain that, I understand where you're going with that. How about speaking of clubs? You mentioned clubs. Where are good places to meet men and women? Are clubs good places?
Well, here's the thing, and this is what separates us from the pack. For the guys, I would tell them to go to the next, the Hunger Games. Go to the Hunger Games. The next time the Hunger Games open up, go to the movie theaters and do that. I'll use if Twilight was started, I would tell them to do that, or Harry Potter, because that's where the women are. The women are everywhere, but we call it water holes. And you know, like nature, lions don't hunt animals. Lions wait at the water hole because they know all the animals got to drink water. That's where he hunts. So we teach our guys water hole sports. And not sports, but places where women are going to congregate as one, and then they can go clean up because all the other guys won't do that.
Steve, I'm hearing pens hitting your face right now. I'm not, I understand where you're going, and I'm not, and it makes sense, but I know some people are going, water holes, lions, but okay, so you're saying go where women are, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's hard to argue with that, right? I mean, if you're looking for a woman, don't go to an all-men's YMCA or, I don't know, an all-men's club. Okay, so, but are there bad places to go at all? I mean, are clubs okay?
Well, no. Clubs are okay if you're a man. Because as a man, you're not going to buy a woman a drink unless she earns it. See, that's the problem. Guys hand over their respect to women like Halloween candy. They see a woman, oh, she's beautiful. I got to give her the world. Can I buy you a drink? And I don't even know you. You haven't qualified. What gives me, what is it about you that allows me to take my hard-earned money and buy you something just by the way you look? That's the problem. I know they hit me with pins now, but that's the problem.
All right, well, let me stop you there. Okay. Yeah, when you said the word, they haven't earned it, the pens came at you, I'm sure. But let me ask you, what is that? What do you mean by that? I'm going to take it a little bit seriously. What do you mean by they haven't earned it?
Okay.
What would earning be for you to buy them a drink?
Well, they're not getting a drink at all because I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. And if anybody that loves stocks, investing, mutual funds, you don't make bad choices. You've got to learn and do your homework about the individual. That's where we get to talk. Let's talk. I don't need to buy you a drink to impress you because as a man, and we teach our guys, I'm the Willy Wonka golden ticket. As arrogant as that may sound, but it is an honor for you to be with a guy like me because I'm not like the rest of these human males out there who don't know what they're doing.
So at that club, instead of sitting up or walking up to this attractive woman like so many guys do, and I actually agree with you. I think it's actually kind of a stupid thing to say, hey, can I buy you a drink? I mean, it actually, to me, sounds stupid. But, and I guess for you also. So you would go up if somebody interested, you had interest in that person, you'd go up and just start talking to them, right?
Yeah, no pickup line. Wait, one pickup line. Hello, how you doing? My name is Steve. I will shake your hand. How are you doing? And we will start dialogue from that point. I'm not going to say your eyes are like the moon or the stars or do PUA magic tricks. And I'm not going to do. I'm going to come as you as a man and let you know that I'm interested in you, but I will never take your phone number. And that's another problem that guys have. They always take the woman's phone number.
They ask for that phone number.
Worst thing you do.
Why is that bad?
Well, because, and this is I'm going to hit pins, but a lot of women love attention. And sometimes women will take a phone number just to feel good about herself, and here's this guy calling her, texting her, just running behind her, and we have something very simple. You give her your business card. If she's interested in you, what is she going to do? She's going to call you, right?
Okay.
And that leaves all the other toys and games and things that they play on Facebook or having these male friends. That's another problem. Oh,
Talk to me about male friends for women and the problems.
Okay, that's what makes me laugh. I've never had a female friend in my life. Never. I've had female associates, but if I'm attracted to you because I am a man and you're attractive, we have nothing in common, really, because I want you, and I'm not. Men want sex. That's what I'm trying to get at. But a lot of men are deceptive and deceiving these women by being their friends when they really want to sleep with them, but they just don't know how to do it. So they what we call backdoor the woman.
Sure,
be your buddy.
they're disingenuous, unquestionably.
Yeah, disingenuous, absolutely.
Unquestionably, but I mean, there's got to be some friends. I mean, a woman can certainly be friends with a male, can they not? Or
well,
you don't
my
believe
wife
so?
is my best friend. Other than that, I've never had a woman friend in my life. Never had one because I've usually sleep with them. That's just what I was. I mean, that's what. Believe me, if a guy tells you he doesn't, if he sees an attractive woman and he's not thinking about sleeping with her, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that.
Well, Steve, I'm not going to argue with some of what you say. I mean, that makes sense to me. I think quite often it is a backdoor attempt, but I've got to believe that I'll disagree with you on the part that men and women cannot be friends, but that's okay. We don't want to split hairs here.
Oh, no,
I'm here
if
to hear your
there's a slight
expertise.
attraction, then it's not going to work. If you have a slight attraction to that person, it's not a friendship.
I got you. So, Steve, tell me the biggest mistake you think women do in the relationship game. If you had to just pick maybe one or two of the biggest things women make mistakes in trying to find a relationship, what do you think that those two are?
I would say honesty and being a mother to the guy. Those two are the worst.
So, honesty?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
They're not honest.
Okay, so
I'm not trying to generalize. But if you're really looking for a serious relationship, then why are you on Facebook or why are you on these things or talking to all these other men? Why don't you just focus on that one guy? But you don't tell them about those other guys that are interested in you. But sometimes they find out the wrong time. That's one thing. The other thing is when you are in a relationship with a woman, for some reason, she thinks she has the power to tell you as a man, like she's your mother, where you can go, what you can do, or you'll get in trouble, or you'll sleep on the couch, and they have this like happy wife, happy life thing, and it's not my job to make a woman happy. That's going to shock you. But it's not a man's job to make a woman happy.
No, it's her own job, isn't it?
There you go. Yeah, because she's not happy herself. There's nothing you can buy her or do to make her happy. And that's where guys go wrong. But that's where women become mothers and, they demand all these things from guys. Buy me this. Valentine's Day, you have to buy me that. Christmas, you have to buy me that. Or you're in trouble. I'm mad. I'm going to withhold sex. You got to sleep on the couch. No, it doesn't work like that with a man.
Now, but let me ask you, a man and a woman can't give a man happiness either. Am I correct on that?
Absolutely. That's what we teach our guys, and that's the knowledge of self. That you are the great. You were born a winner, and I know that's a cliche type thing, but you fought millions of your brothers and sisters to get to the egg, and that makes you a winner all by itself.
Interesting point. How do you make sure that you don't get stuck with a person that's really not going to be good for you?
Well, that's, again, that goes back to the phases, because once you're in the relationship phase doesn't mean that you're serious enough where she can get a key into your place, because you've got to have the next powwow. When you move in with me, these are my expectations, which are going to be different from the relationship. And if we can't line up, we have to fall back. It's very simple.
Okay. And you don't think everybody should have a wedding, correct? I mean, do you mean by that that people should not get married, or they shouldn't have the wedding itself?
No, The wedding is a day for women to show off and have that fairy tale that leads to debt, which is one of the biggest causes of infidelity. The thing is, it's a very selfish thing for a woman to ask you to spend all that money, where we got to use a little bit of logic here. Why don't we reinvest that money into a house or a car, or let's save it for the kids? You got to think ahead and not have a selfish thing as my day.
You know, I heard another pen hit.
But the truth hurts. I'm sorry.
How do we, you mentioned this, and I know that you talk about this, that there's ways to cheat-proof relationships.
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about that, Steve.
Well, I don't believe in Facebook. Facebook is fine if you have a business or you want to talk to family. I don't believe once we are in a serious relationship, unless the guy's gay, I don't mind you having friends, the guy that are guys. But other than that, I'm going to do the same thing. It's not just one side here. It works both ways. I just want to let you know that. But the thing is that what are these other guys giving you? And this is where they're going to throw. They may not throw the pins at me here, but what are these other guys giving you that your man isn't? That's the $1 million question.
Well, I would say to you now, Steve, that there's some women that agree with what you're saying about Facebook as an example. That if you are in a serious relationship, unless it's a business reasons, you're on Facebook, maybe, or in that realm. I could see, and if you have a lot of male, if you're female and they're contacting you a lot, I know there's some females that agree with you. That I'm married and I'm in a serious relationship. It's time for me to stick with my just family. So some are going to agree with you. Some, I think, you're going to get that pen thing again. But so you say stop that, right?
Well, no, the one that's on the pen. Ask yourself the question: do you want the ring and be happily married for 14 years plus, like I am and my wife are, or do you want to go through the Dr. Phil's and the marriage counseling and the cheating and the problems and the breakups and the get back togethers? It's your choice. This is simple.
Hey, speaking of doing it right and getting a good, solid marriage, what do you think? What's your opinion, your view on how to keep the fire lit? Let's say you're married. You've been married 14 years. It's a long time. And I'm going to get a little bit graphic here. And people are probably going to get your pens ready. Don't throw it at Steve, the dean. Throw it at Steve, me. You're married, and it's 10 years.
Yes.
And it's the same woman next to you in bed.
Absolutely.
Now, let me finish this. And it's day of pornography. I mean, we can go up on Google, Yahoo, and put any kind of pornography you want. Turn on TV, and you see, I'm talking guys now, we see women, beautiful bodies, tons of makeup, and then you lay down, and here's this woman that's beautiful, and you do love her. You have a deep love for her.
Yes.
But you go, how do you keep that fire burning? Talk to me, Steve. I think it's an issue that people don't want to address. Some people.
I still watch porn. I watch porn like any other guy. I'm a guy. I will look at porn. But here's the thing. Since I have known my wife, and this is what we teach our guys, my wife cannot come home, bend over, take her clothes off, take a shower or a bath without me having to touch her. I can't keep my hands off of her. I make her feel special every time. I make her feel special at night. I snuggle up with her, and it's not just sex. It's the little things. I know her favorite baking good. I'll drive 45 miles to get her favorite bread. I'll drive 30 miles to get her favorite drink. I'll do those little things. But sex, I can't. I gotta get it in, because I'm 41. I don't know how guys stop, but I gotta get it in at least four times a week.
Okay, so you said a couple of things that people are probably, their eyes are popping out of their head. You just said you drive, I don't know, 40 minutes or something to get her favorite pastry or beverage.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think some people are probably going, hey, this guy's a real chauvinist. I mean, he's just he's mean. He's got no. But you're not saying that. So that's an interesting point that you're saying, in my view. But you mentioned that you watch porn. Now, does porn help your sex life? Do you think it could help people's sex life, or does it harm it?
There's days off. They got the days of the week off. There's, they got that time. Let's just call it that time where I gotta release. I mean, that's just that's being honest with you. I got a release, and that's the thing. I guess I have it must call me a sexual addiction because I can't keep my hands off my wife. I can't. It's like the first time I met her, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, to me, she's my best friend, my lover, my wife, everything. And I want to show her how much I appreciate her because, again, I want to treat her the way I want to be treated.
And again, Steve, I guess you don't think, because some people feel that going on porn, masturbating to porn,
yes,
is cheating. I take it you'd probably laugh and fall out of your chair if I said that too, right?
Yes, I do. Because my wife knows I go on porn because I don't lie. She knew this is who I was when we first met. Matter of fact, she even buys me lotion. I mean, that's how good we have it.
So she has no problem. Does she go on porn herself?
No, she doesn't. Not at all. But I do because this is who I am. I'm not. There's no reason to lie. And again, I don't drink or smoke or do drugs or anything like that. This is what I like to do when she's off, when she's on the mend. But when she's not on the mend, then it's time to get it on.
Okay. So talk to me again. We got about 3 minutes left.
Okay.
We know where you're coming from. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see some testimonials, as Steve said, on people that have listened to him and gone through, I guess, some training or mentoring that he must do,
yes.
Go to schoolofdating.com and take a look at what he's got to say. And you can throw the pen there or sign up or whatever. But just a few minutes left. And talk again about, I'm a guy, okay? I'm a guy, and I want to find, I don't want to just find sex. I mean, yeah, it's a part of life. It's a good part of life. Yes. But I want to find sex, and I want to find a woman that I can spend 14 years with.
Yes.
We got 4 minutes. What can you tell me in 4 minutes?
4 minutes, I can tell you very simply. First off, you have to know as a man what you want and what you will not accept. That has to be the boundary. That's the first thing. Then when you meet the person, you don't demand and pout your chest like a lot of women think I'm doing. I'm the man, you have to hear me roar. It's not like that. I'm going to show you me, the best me. You get to see all of me. But one thing you're going to learn is this is how I feel. So again, ladies, there are phases with men. Well, I'm talking to the guys here. I'm talking to you. So I got to speed this up. So remember, there's the dating phase, the relationship phase, the moving in together phase, the engagement phase, and marriage phase. Every phase you must have a powwow with that woman to show, and you talk about your expectations. Then that way you will know if she's worth the ring or she's not.
Okay. So, but, and would you recommend, again, you say go to where women are.
Yes.
Don't go and ask them cliche. And it's not only the drink thing. I think what you're saying is just don't con them. Don't try to trick them. Don't try to give them a pickup, quote unquote, line. Go up and be yourself and talk, right?
And let them know what you're thinking. And remember, but here's the thing. You got to remember, if you talk a good game and you are not good in bed, then you're done. You got to remember that. So
all right, well, let me stop. All right, we got 2 minutes. Okay, let's say you got a good game and you're a nice guy and she likes you because you're cool. You know, you're okay. Yeah. And you hop in the sack and you're kind of a dud. I mean, I'm not a woman. What's it mean to be bad in bed? Talk to me,
It
Steve.
means that she's not getting orgasm. She's not feeling sexy. Remember, women love romance novels. What are they doing in romance novels real quick? The guy comes in town, and he gives her a feeling of excitement. You've got to give him excitement, and you've got to do it 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, or somebody else will.
Well, let me tell you, Steve, you know, that made sense. I mean, the first thing that came out of your mouth was you got to make them feel sexy. You got to have a level of excitement. You have to they need to have an orgasm. That's what you said, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But Steve, let me tell you, you know that. I mean, there's a lot of guys that just don't care, right? I mean, woman and orgasm? Well, okay, but that's not what I'm there for. You're saying the opposite of that, correct?
Right, but we love those guys because that's why the women always come to us instead of them. So, hey, I wish I could give them a fruit basket for not wanting to take care of their woman.
Steve, our time has ended. I enjoy talking to you, and I'll tell you why. It isn't the usual thing that you hear on radio or television. So I got some smiles, and I understand where you're coming from. I'm curious to see what kind of reaction I get from our audience, but I truly enjoy talking to you. Maybe we'll do it again. And I want to mention before we go, though, Steve the Dean Williams, he has a number of sites, but I'm going to give you the main one. He says they all he has three of them. They all merge to the schoolofdating.com. So if there's anything you want to check out, good or bad, hop on his site, take a look. And Steve, maybe we'll do it again. And thank you, my friend, for being my guest.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, sir.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, we're done for today. I'm kind of like still smiling about our first guest, kosher dating and all that kind of stuff, and Steve the Dean here talking about some things that you just generally don't hear on TV and radio. I'm real curious. Let me know what you think. Send me an email to info@KOVACS PERSPECTIVE.com. Tell me good, bad, or indifferent, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of every month. Pleasure to have you. Until next time, so long.
KOVACS Perspective is brought to you by the WTOE Radio Network at throughouroureyes.org. All WTOE shows are available as a podcast. Visit our podcast page to learn more. The KOVACS Perspective was written by Steve Kovacs, directed by Tom Bendewalt Jr., technical director engineer Len Azzarone, assistant audio engineer Lori Vescuso. For more information about the KOVACS Perspective, visit www.allsourcesecurity.com. All words, ideas, and comments expressed on the KOVACS Perspective are those of Steve Kovacs and not necessarily those of the National Federation of the Blind, the NFB Northeast New Jersey Chapter, or the WTOE Radio Network. Until next time, I'm Keith Zally.
Done it again.
That's all, folks.